and strengthen the already well-established partnerships that we have with some of our,
Yep.
training facilities and technical facilities, the high school here in Worcester,
Well,
Quincy, and
yeah. I was going to say, certainly the workforce end of manufacturing is always a big component. And with the, one of the things that we do hear about a lot from manufacturers is just the age of the average age of their workforce, is really close to retirement age. And so, there's going to need to be a lot of backfill there. And if young people aren't ready, and there's actually a study that I was going to bring up in a bit, but there's actually, the study showing that, younger people, their skills they're not as ready to take on those roles as, the people that are exiting. And I think it's especially true in manufacturing, where you have this, group of incredibly, seasoned talent that's going to be stepping out. And for years and years, young people haven't been going into manufacturing, so you don't really have a base to draw from.
And it's kind of correcting that vision that it's not, your grandfather's machine shop anymore. I mean, these are highly skilled, highly technical jobs.
Yeah. And well-paying too, right?
The average salary, I believe, in manufacturing is about $75,000, which is higher than,
I believe it's higher than healthcare. It's certainly higher than retail.
Education, some of the education.
Yeah.
I mean, they're well-paying jobs, they're skilled jobs. The other figure that I've heard is over the next 10 years, going to your idea of attrition, next 10 years, without adding a single job, we're still going to need to fill about 100,000 positions in manufacturing. That's a lot of people.
And, it's incredible, but we do hear from manufacturers that say, I could hire a lot more people if I had skilled people ready to go, because I've got contracts I could be bidding on. I've got, work I could be, jobs I could be doing, but I don't have the manpower right now. That's one of the things that's holding them back. So you talk about not adding new jobs. There's actually could be a lot more growth if there was kind of a pool of talent for them to draw from easily.
And the growth is what we're hoping to tap into. The stat was more just, without even looking at that side, there's 100,000 jobs that are going to be sitting out there.
Yeah.
And we need to start engaging our young students and getting them interested in manufacturing and, the STEM segment and some of these. Well,
and certainly having the roundtable, sounds like a great step. I know a lot has been done in partnership with Tim Murray when he was lieutenant governor around manufacturing. There's a lot of statewide infrastructure and regional infrastructure set up as a result of his focus on manufacturing and the importance of manufacturing to our economy when he was lieutenant governor. So it's great to see him retaining that that focus and bringing it into the chamber's work. Yeah. What else is going on at the chamber? Any big events coming up that you want to highlight? Or
we have our annual meeting in December, as well as we just had our expo, our annual business expo, which was a
now how
big
many
success.
How many different vendors or guests?
I believe
give us a sense of the scope.
The booths are about, I want to say it's upwards of about 150 different booths, different companies and vendors that come in and display their wares and use it as a way to try and generate leads and sale potential and make those connections, make that soft connection. You get the business card from the individual, you have a conversation, and then you follow up later on for the potential of maybe doing business together.
I know if folks haven't gone. I mean, it's just an amazing sight to see all the different companies that are down there on the floor of the DCU and in their convention hall, totally packing the convention hall, and then all the visitors and all the guests that are there. It's just an amazing opportunity to kind of network and see what's going on in industry and all the different services and products that are out there. So, and that must take a ton of work to
it's
put
a lot
together.
To put together, but it's it's one of those labors of love.
Yeah,
you look at it afterwards, and in the lead up, you might be pulling your hair out, you might be wanting to scream from the rooftops, but when it's done and when it's going on and you're standing there and you're looking around and it's such the success that it is. And this year we kept hearing from more and more vendors, more and more people with booths saying how great it was, how wonderful it was. It was just those are the things you like to hear. You don't think at that point about the sweat and the hours and
all
what
kind of that
into.
reward for all the hard work that goes in. I know, and you've got a credible team over there at the chamber that helps to pull that all together.
Got a great staff.
Yeah. It's just great to I know that firsthand, having been a part tangentially, at least kind of seeing that interaction, seeing how professional your staff is and how quick they respond to people, and keep the communication open, and tell you what's going on as a vendor there, and what what's coming up and all that. So tell us so you got your annual event coming up in December.
Yep.
Any other? And I know you do a lot of smaller events like breakfast.
Yes, we
after
have
hours and things like that.
Breakfasts and after hours. Our next after hours in November will be at Ritual. You can find more information on our website.
It's a very popular place down there on Main Street, right? Right next to the, I don't even know what it's called, the old Palladium.
I believe it is still the Palladium. They're still open. Well,
it just shows. I mean, I've been there several times, just not in the last 7 or 8 years. A lot of the concerts and stuff.
We know you were there for the death metal show. We know you were down there.
I might have been. I might have been.
Extensions in your hair, rocking out with everybody. We know there's a fun side of Jeff.
Yes, that's right. Death metal is my MO with MCG in tow. Yes. All right, so we have a little game we got to play with you here. We got to. It's
okay.
Kind of a little contest thing, and if you win, you do get a prize. All right, so. Hey, well, by the way, what was your? So this is it's dealing with young people in work readiness, as we talked about with Paul Linsky. So what was your first job?
My first job. During summer job at high school?
No, just as a young person, not first professional job, but first kind of taste of an actual work, not at home.
Working job. My first summer job, I worked at Designs by Levi Strauss in the Auburn Mall.
Model? Sounds pretty fancy.
No, not a male model. No. Again, going back to Jeff's earlier comment, nobody wants a portion of stew at any point during the
day. No, I think that was the whole ad campaign for a while. Levi Strauss, come have a portion of stew. So I imagine you're pretty good at folding the jeans then?
Not bad.
I always.
There was a method to it.
There is a method. What's your favorite brand of Levi's? What's your favorite style of Levi's?
These days, with a slightly protruding waistline, anything baggy and comfort fit, anything that can give you a little elastic waistbands.
Jeans with pleats always. I
look for anything with an elastic waistband when I go to an all-you-can-eat buffet.
All right, so this is for a prize now, so we have to put our game face on. Right. Brad Pitt, what was his first job? Was it A, pest control? Was it? I'm trying to read the handwriting here, Sean. Sean put this together. So, was it pest control technician? B, a chicken mascot for a local fast food restaurant called El Polo Loco, or C, was it janitor at a local high school? So Brad Pitt's first job, janitor at a local high school, pest control technician, or chicken mascot for El Polo Loco.
I'm going to put him in the chicken suit. I'm going to make him a chicken mascot.
You are a winner, sir. Wow, incredible. Yes, he's got he wore, I think we're going to try, for the viewers at home, we'll try to see if we have any footage of that, any kind of, do we have footage, Sean? Do we have footage? We'll have to dig some. We'll have to Photoshop some footage of him in a chicken outfit. So, hey, we're going to be talking about the rollout of Obamacare or I should say the Affordable Care Act. You're welcome to stick around and throw in your 2 cents worth, or I know you might have to go. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll sort that out, and then we'll be back with more of the Working Lunch.
WCUW is celebrating 40 years of being part of the community of Worcester, and they brought back the alums this past weekend.
Oh, that's great.
And
40 years of radio.
They followed my show, and they gathered in this room and outer rooms, and some of them, it appears, have not evolved over the 40 years. The hot guys, really, because it was really, WCUW was known for underground music. and these were a lot of
And they're so underground is what you're implying?
They evolved and really presented to the community in Worcester a real niche of airing local bands.
Yeah.
And so it was a fun afternoon here.
I imagine it was. Now, you have your radio show on Saturday afternoons. It's
from 2 to 4.
It's the Bob Zukowski
Polka. 2 hours, yes.
2 hours of polka.
Happy music.
I have listened to the show whenever especially if I'm on the road in the car. The kids love it. Love the fact that it's not just traditional old school polka. It's also a lot of like rock and roll polka. Yeah, alternative.
A lot of alternative. It's gone from utilizing the folk music of the Eastern European countries to nowadays blending in rock and roll and blending in standards as well as country.
Yeah,
that fit into the polkas. So.
And we do have our guest here, Stuart Loosemore from the Worcester Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for again joining us. I know your members must be interested in the rollout of the Affordable Care Act. What do you hear about that? What's the membership kind of perspective? What's the feedback?
Most members, when they see a government program, I think are usually a little skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
Along the basic ideas of it's my business.
More work.
It's my business.
More control being taken
why are you trying to run my business for me? Why are you trying to tell me how to run my business? The part of all of this that has always intrigued me, I think if you take the Affordable Care Act apart in pieces, people might be more amenable to, if you ask, do you think people with pre-existing health conditions should be denied insurance? I think you'll find a lot of people say, well, no, I think if you go for insurance, even if you have a pre-existing condition, you shouldn't be denied. Do you think that coverage should be made available and affordable to everyone so that they can get coverage if they want it? You're going to find most people, I would say,
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You call it Affordable Care Act, you call it Obamacare, and all of a sudden, pitchforks and stakes and knives come out, and people get very
Well, there's actually a study or a survey that was done that it's like a 20-point swing describing the exact same language. Like, do you support the Affordable Care Act, which does versus the same question, except for do you support Obamacare, which does and it's like a 18-point swing or so. And I forget what it was, but it's like it tips from a majority in favor to a majority not in favor just by the name alone. You get a lot of probably, I would think, conservative types that they hear the Obamacare label and. There's a certain amount of information out there, kind of probably in the more conservative circles around what the act does and doesn't do. And when you break it out, I'm kind of with you. When you break it out point by point, a lot of it is based on, more or less right wing systems that were proposed back in like the 80s and 90s. I think it's the Heritage Foundation had proposed most of the aspects of this plan. Yep. As a response to Hillary Clinton's health care proposal. So they came back with, well, here's the conservative aspect, which maintains much of the free market aspect of healthcare delivery and insurance system. And so it's kind of an interesting proposition, right?
I'm going to jump in here with the free market situation. There's the Kaiser Foundation out of Menlo, California, who sponsors a Kaiser Health newsletter. And recently, as of October 21st, which was yesterday or the day before, they were talking about in Florida.
Now, are they part of the Kaiser Permanente health insurance?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No.
But
the Kaiser Foundation is supposed to be a nonpartisan, objective view of health care overall. So they're not only looking at the insurance end of it, they're looking at the delivery of service in the acute health care and all, and also looking at the United States' leadership in the policy making for health care. And they were pointing out that, for instance, in California, insurance companies are dropping their customers because of the affordable health care, forcing people to go into higher cost. And the key.
So they're dropping customers. I would think
they are dropping customers.
Because they don't want to necessarily have to maintain the level that's being
and also
in the statute of
down in Florida, also in Florida and Ohio, are dropping a lot of its customers. And now, when we heard about the Affordable Health Care Act, it was supposed to be affordable to all. And reports in the Kaiser newsletter are talking about increases for individuals. We were told that we would be able to keep our healthcare insurance providers, and that hasn't been the case. So,
I think it should be. No one's actually been the new system isn't while the rollout of the exchanges online has happened as of October 1st. But it's January 1st when the new coverage would actually begin.
Some of the private business owners are skeptical. I'm skeptical because of the way number one, it was passed. Number two, legislators telling us they didn't have an opportunity to read the whole bill. So that talks to an irrational legislative process in which you don't know all the information and you vote for something, and so then you become skeptical. And as back in 1968, a friend was wounded in Vietnam, and I went over to the Boston Naval Hospital to see government health care first.
Through the VNA?
Yeah. And I said at that time, as a young person, I would never want to be.
Here's my question, though, Bob. And this is kind of thing that I get a little bit, it gets me a little upset. I was listening to the Jordan Levy show last night, and a caller comes on and he says, we fought the socialists 40 years ago, and now we're going back to it with this Obamacare. And Jordan says, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is like a step in. And at what point did we ever fight? Stu, do you remember war against the socialists? I'm not sure what the heck that guy was talking about. I don't remember a war against socialists.
I don't know if I'm commenting.
I do know that one of our closest allies all along, including an ally in the Cold War, would be the UK, right? United Kingdom, and they have a government single-payer system.
They have government-run healthcare.
Yeah, they have. So this is the B, though. B part of that is, as you're saying, the VNA is a government-run healthcare, right? Mm-hmm. The Affordable Care Act is not creating new government hospitals, is it?
Well,
it's not actually the delivery of healthcare, is it?
Have some control over it, and that's the concern. Because it seems like,
I understand it. And I'm really curious. So you and I have talked in the past. I'm really curious as to with the mandate for employers and to offer health insurance has been delayed a year. I am really curious to see, is there going to be a movement towards dropping people down from 40 hours to 30, or dropping the number of employees from 50 to 48, so that, is there going to be employers trying to not have to meet that mandate through, I don't want to say shenanigans, but basically through